League is the best division in football right now, arguably. And I want to talk about a couple teams over here, not just talk about a few as a whole, but I want to talk about some teams. Came out of a big game, man. Real fast, let's touch on the end of the night game. Broncos 17, Bucks 10, Chiefs 17. In chat, the Bucks said some things that I would like to repeat. I thought were very important for what you said. So this way we get to what you discuss about. All right, so after y'all get game together, he yelled, "It's unacceptable for my offensive line to give up 32 sacks." Now he's talking about on that last drive, you had Cleary with a sack, you had Simeon Rice with a sack coming off the edge. I would say the Simeon Rice sack was a cover sack. Cleary made a play. But coming down the stretch like that, you put a really big drive together, which relies on Holiday to be big in that drive, which also allowed him to join the 12,000 yards. How you feel about Holiday not being a full-time starter really ever in his career, reaching the 12,000-yard mark?
I'm happy for him, but I'm disappointed in myself as a coach. I think Holiday in the beginning of his career, maybe around year two, I think he rushed for like 25 touchdowns, like 2,000 yards. When we was in when we was in the rhythm of throwing for 5,000 yards, 55 touchdowns, and he kind of had that season that was just special, and I kind of just went away from it. And I picked a stud running back, Journey Brown, and just going back and forth with carries, and just never had a permanent guy. And I wonder what if with Holiday. I mean, right now I think he's moving up on the all-time touchdown record. As far as I think he's like number 8 or 9. He got like 139, 140. So, I think a career left unfulfilled, and more so by the coach than the player. So happy for him to be 12K. It's not nothing to sneeze at. 140 touchdowns, nothing to sneeze at. But disappointed in myself as a coach because he could be in the conversation with the all-time greats if I'd have just locked in with him a little longer. So I mean, it is what it is. But shout out to him. And then to your point about the last drive, whatever. And I was telling Daniel this the other day. I don't think he could because I mean, you get some here and there, and guys will get 4 or 5 sacks. And what I said to him was, we get sacks in user games too. And I went and showed him. I showed him Simeon Rice 3 sacks, Fidel Diggs 2 sacks, young boy Cleary sack and a half, and I played another game. Cleary had like 3 sacks, and the way I use her and the way I play my guys play coverage, I rush 3 and be confident that these guys will get a sack when I need it, and that's what happened. I mean, he wants to blame his own line, but then I look at Simeon Rice, man. It's the reason why he got 263 sacks. That ain't computer games. That's him dominating motherfuckers. He dominated 2 guys. I look at Cleary. He had 2 big sacks in the game. This is just going into his 3rd year. He got 30, almost 40 sacks. You know what I'm saying? Going into his, this is really his second, his 3rd year. He's going into his 3rd year. Got almost 40 sacks, 38 and a half. And, Fidel, this year 4, he's almost 90 sacks, 86 and a half. So when people don't look at that, though. That's my point. People, make excuses. They look at things, but, the other side get paid too. When I throw an interception, I'm mad at myself, but the other guys get paid too. They get paid to make plays, and I think, my D-line, I could get away with rushing 3, maybe 4, and get the same pressure as if I was bringing 5 or 6. And that's just a testament to those guys. So I really think the Bucks, down the stretch, he might have forgot who I had because he was quick throwing me, meaning, nice quick throws. I mean, at one point I think he was like 8 for 8 for like 60 yards. That's maybe like 7 yards to throw, 8 yards to throw. So he was quick though. I think when he had 7-step drops, 5 and 7-step drops, it allowed my guys to get there. And the last drive when he needed chunk plays, that's when my guys got there. So I think the nuances of the game get overlooked sometimes, and people just look at you know, the obvious, but without really going into detail. But shout out to them guys on the D line, man. You know what I mean? They ain't called the unit for no reason, man. They get after it. So shout out to them.
First and 10, a big mistake, especially when you factor in the personal foul yardage. Mayfield off the play fake.
Two-time MVP too. Super Bowl MVP.
Taken down. Back right around the 48-yard line. Von Miller in there for the sack, and he's closing in on the all-time record. That's number 19 on the year. They get 11 back on that one. It leads to third down.
Well, that play looks familiar because we saw them working on it in practice this week. And for a lineman trying to block on this play, they love when they got the defense moving in one direction, and when they try and change directions, it's a lot easier to pick them up and ward them off.
If they want it first, they need to get the football to the 32 here on third down.
Well, first I'll start with Calvin. And well, we coming off a Super Bowl win, and it's our second one, and Garantano, he's the more college style. We're running jet sweeps, and I know Calvin is more of he needs a guy that's gonna drop back and give him 10, 12 looks a game, and we just like it's time. It's time to move on. We're playing more of a college style offense. And we need shorter, more shiftier guys, more than that deep threat, that person that could go get that one-on-one catch. And I think the next year without Calvin, I think that's when I lost in the Super Bowl. Just for some reason, man, I don't know if it was a Super Bowl hangover, and I kept blaming it on that, but something just wasn't right with my offense. Like it just wasn't right, and I didn't put my hand on it. I just whatever. And the next year, I realized what it was. Like I'm playing the game, and I think my receiver at the time was not Bo Rice. I think it was a Booker, and it was somebody, and it was 1-on-1, and they didn't make the play. And normally Calvin 9 times out of 10 make the play. You know what I mean? And at that point, I said that was it. That was what I was missing. I was missing that go-to guy to throw it up, can run any route, the confidence that I instilled in that man for 10 years. I was missing that. Because look at the numbers. The numbers don't lie, man. What he did.
Been such an impressive first half to get that.
And not looking back on it, I think it was accurate.
On third and long, it's Locke. He's got a man. It's Sutton that's complete. And he'll be corralled well upfield right around the 40-yard line. A good pickup there, a 22. Melvin Gordon, the two-time Pro Bowler. Adrian Claiborne, the one who makes the stop.
They tried a quick hitter inside, but that one was swallowed up because what they're hoping, those big defensive linemen will take the bait and move laterally and open up a crease that they can run through. Didn't happen on that play.
And he'll be taken down, but not before he works it past the 50. That one good for 13 and a Denver first down. So a 1st and 10 upcoming from Browns territory now at the 46. And running room scarce here. He's going to be stopped in his tracks at the line of scrimmage.
I felt like I got rid of him too early. And just looking at the holiday situation, I think, we kind of go with the league and what the league's doing. And, you know, I got caught up in the Boone Cat and, you know, Marmar and just this guy. And then I had this guy guaranteed that I said, you know what? I could do this better than what he's doing because I could throw the ball. And I got infatuated with that. And, you know, again, it produced a Super Bowl, which I'm proud of. It produced 2 MVPs. But I'm not gonna lie. I felt like I was losing who I was. You know, who I was as just the person that come out and throw 5 touchdowns and 400 yards in a game, and just have you playing cover 4 off coverage the whole game. Like I wasn't getting that anymore. You get what I'm saying? Like I wasn't getting guys fuck the run. You listen. You can take 10 yards a pop. You're not going to beat me deep. You're not going to throw deep posts or crossing routes or outs on me. I didn't have that in a while, and I think with me getting those guys back, it brought energy, man. Like I'm just re-energized, man. So if you look at the numbers, man, Calvin is shitting, Mahomes is shitting, even Ibuka is like robbing. Look at his numbers.
For a bundle, his second goes backward.
And how many times have we seen that happen? Because you get that big carry, and you come back and you're all fired up, and sometimes you force a run a little bit, right? Trying to break off that big carry again, and instead it works opposite.
He's got a first down and inside of midfield. He gets it across the 50 and down to the 48. Just what the Browns needed there. Good for a gain of 17.
Well, partner, for a few years there, we thought this read option play was going to take over the whole NFL. It seemed like everyone was using it, but it has been.
I mean, I'm an honest person. My division hasn't been the best, but I think guys don't get credit. I think Mike has had some quality wins throughout this dish. The Chargers, I think the Broncos, and Hitter has had some quality wins, and we haven't had a legit Raiders user. You know, Anton had the team, somebody before him, somebody after. We haven't had a legit like even the guy that has him now, he just started playing. He's at the team for about 4 seasons, but he's just started playing. And he you know, I think his name is Priest something.
Priest King.
Priest King, yeah. He's not a you know, he's a quality user. But I'm not gonna sit here and sugarcoat it. You know, my division hasn't been the best. But what I will say in my defense is, in me dominating the division, I do play a first place schedule every year. And for me to have, and a first place schedule is when you win the division, you play all the division winners from that conference. So I'm playing every year Knox or Boone. I'm playing every year the Jaguars and I'm playing every year Shoguns or Onk. You know, AFC East by no means, like Onk is not an easy game to play. Anybody that plays him, if they could just say, oh, the Patriots is an easy game, come on, they're not being real with themselves. So, in my defense, and that's on top of me, whoever we're playing. So if we're playing the NFC East, you know, we have the Cowboys, you had the Giants. If we're playing the South, you have Gator. You have the Bucks, who I just played a playoff style game with. We playing the West. You know, we had the Niners, Nana. We had Bigavelli. You know, whoever we had. On top of that, I'm playing that NFC conference. So, I mean, at the end of the day, for me to win that many games and only have that many, you know, I had those few losses. I think I'm 200 wins and 14 losses. I had to be beating people. And it's not just me beating up on my division, because if that was the case, the people would be, you know, I'm not bragging, but people will be closer to me in wins. I think the closest person is like at 170 with wins, and then like losses, I think it's like 30, 32, or 38, something like that. I don't have it in front of me.
Defensively on first down as this is knocked away and incomplete. They'll try again here from the 7 on 2nd and goal. Mayfield hands it off to Chubb. And he'll take it into the end zone for a Browns touchdown. Nick Chubb with his 2nd touchdown here in this first half. And the Browns are going to tack on to their advantage. And always a good first half when you can hit pay dirt twice.
And it never hurts to have that good feeling as the game moves on. Just think about halftime. If that's all he gets, he'll just sit there at the half and think, all right, 2 already. I can get some more. I can get some more. And it'll be encouraging his offensive line to create some space.
The Broncos onto the field, ready to start their next drive. And some dangerous territory. You're already down 3 scores.
Yeah, and I said it. I can't sugarcoat. My only defense is this is my only defense that I play a first place schedule. So in me dominating my division, quote unquote, I'm playing the division winners of other divisions. I played you every year. I played either Boone or Knox every year. People in other places can't say that. Or they can say they've dominated them. So for example, we go over to the NFC, and let's bring up the Cowboys, right? And I'm gonna just bring him up because he's the upper echelon over there. So we bring up the Cowboys, right? Over there for so many years, did we ever see the Seahawks Bigavelli beat him? The Cowboys. Did we ever see Bigavelli beat the Cowboys?
Maybe once.
Did we ever see the Saints or Bucks beat the Cowboys? And I'm talking about regular season, not postseason.
No.
Yeah, especially on 3rd and 1. Gotta be
but let's say they played every year. Though my point is, they played every year first place though, like first place division. They played every year, right? But how many times out of let's say they play in the regular season, not playoff. Let's say they play 11 times. What Bigavelli won once. So now let's go to the South, right? How many times during the regular season has the Saints and or Bucks beat the Cowboys? Right? So now let's go to the North. The North was flux. So it's fluctuating. The Lions have played 1 year, he wouldn't play. You had a Bears user for, so my point is, I'm playing people that I'm possibly losing to. Like out of those, those 14 losses, one was to the Raiders. I had possibly a couple in the NFC. I think the Cowboys got me the last time we played in the regular season. Right? But then other than that, them losses is to either the Jags, Ravens, or Browns. You get what I'm saying? Like I had a loss. I think Young Boy might have got me once. But what I'm saying is, my first place division, I'm going back and forth with. If I'm making sense to you, my first place schedule, I'm going back and forth with guys. I'm not dominating them. So that's what I'm saying to you. That I look at what I did, and yes, there's some fluff there. But that means I'm doing a whole lot of dominating the NFC as well, and I'm winning majority of my games, but losing some against the first place opponents that I'm playing. That's my only argument, So I can't deny my division, is not the greatest. So when people look at the 200 career wins, just know every year I'm playing a first place schedule.
At about the 18-yard line, it looks like.
Yes.
Ready to go. I guess they have to feel a little gratified to at least get on the board last time, but still work to do.
No doubt about it. I wonder now if they're going to try to increase the urgency a little bit, maybe pump up the pace, maybe go 2 minute. Who knows? Let's see what they decide to do.
Call it a gain of 5, and it'll make it a 2nd down. Now they run from the gun with Gordon. 5 yards on 1st down, but now just a 1-yard pickup there on 2nd.
Partner, we know today's NFL is really built around the guy throwing the football. But these short runs, they still pay dividends because they can take their toll on a defense and they can add up as the game
Yeah, I
goes
played. I
along.
played. I mean, the first game was a computer game against the Falcons. Can't sleep on the Falcons. But it was a computer. Yeah, it was a computer game. He didn't want smoke. He texted me. We had a time set. He DM'd me, said, "Take the win. I'm going to play Call of Duty." So to me, that's just basically saying, look, I know what's about to happen. I don't feel like it. You got it. So it was what it was. This.
Gutsy call. They're going to go for this on 4th and a yard. And I'm not sure he got there. Did they stop him? They did. So certainly an interesting call there to go for it. And the Browns are going to get this thing back. Excellent field position. A first down throw for Mayfield. And this is caught. Touchdown, Cleveland. Odell Beckham with his second touchdown here in this first half. And the Browns are going to tack on to their advantage.
I heard a coach talk about those late-in-the-half scores, especially ones that give your team a pretty decent cushion. He said those could be the ones that could finish off a squad if you let them.
Yeah, they've got the cushion. This half has been theirs. Extra point by Seibert, up and good. And the decision to just kick the extra point winds up successful. Set now to kick this one away, and off it goes. This is taken about 7 yards deep. And no thought to bring this one out. He'll just go down to a knee, and they'll take over at the 25. The Broncos onto the field, ready to start their next drive. Well, look at the clock here. You're inside of a minute. First half hasn't gone that well for you. How are you going to play this drive?
Well, I've been told by my coaches previously that the intelligent approach, go ahead and run out the clock and start over. Don't make any more mistakes. But there's also something to understanding that you got this last drive here. You get the ball to start the second half. Try and go 2 for 1 here. Get some points now and come out of the locker room and get more points again and get your momentum really built up.
And he'll push forward here for a good little run as the clock continues to run. Clock going to try and throw on 3rd down. Throwing right, and that's complete. And with just 1 second remaining in the first half, they'll call the timeout. So with 1 second left in the half, on is the field goal unit. This officially a 55-yard attempt. And he has got it from 55 yards away. That was never in doubt. So we reach halftime in what's been a fairly one-sided game so far. As now we send you out to Orlando and hook back up with Jonathan Coachman for our EA Sports Halftime Report. Both teams appear ready for the fight ahead, and we resume action here in quarter number 3. Denver offense at the line, ready to go. They trail offense, first time to touch the ball in quarter 3, and we'll see what they can do.
And I can't wait to see what they have planned. Because some teams script to start a half. Other teams just go, okay, these are the sequence of plays we want to run. These things work well for us. And sometimes they throw in that big chunk play right away. Shocker. Try and get after them early and try and create a big play to give themselves some momentum.
See what they have up their sleeve. They'll go again with Lindsey. 6 yards to pick up, and that's a first down. Well, we talked about Philip Lindsay so much last year, but it bears repeating.
That's a good question. Good question. I mean, I'm really just rely on using guaranteed in practice as a scout team, and just telling him to really give our first team defense a good look. We're gonna get after it that week because we know the Broncos are itching to change the narrative of our division being weak, and what better way will be just to do it that game. So we're gonna come out ready and prepared. And I think that week of practice, we're going to do a lot of one-on-one, like ones versus ones. And for people that don't know what that means, that's first team offense versus first team defense, which doesn't really happen during the regular season. Only happens during training camp. But during the regular season, first team goes against scout team, and then defense goes against scout team offense, which really, depending on matchups, you might get a player like a guaranteed in there because he mimics another quarterback. But for the most part, it's the backups that is giving the first team defense or offense look. So just a little tidbit for y'all that don't know that. But this week, I think that we will do a lot of one-on-one, one versus one, just to get guys ready.
Instead of throwing it downfield, Charles, they just tried to dump it underneath there. You like the call?
I do. I think it's a high percentage play because you get the completion, and what you're counting on is your back to use his legs and his elusiveness to make people miss and pick up the first down. In this case, it didn't happen.
And he gets it to the 34. Good enough for the first. They've been burned twice already on fourth down, but the third time's the charm as they keep the drive moving. The fourth down run successful. Now they look to pay it off on first down. On first down, locked. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. B.J. Goodson able to record his 5th sack of the season. Now, following the sack, they'll look to make amends on a second down and 17. On second down, a run with Lindsey. 8 yards here, so that gets him back within striking distance. And now it's third down.
Not too many offenses want to turn down long drives, but when you're down what they are, they've got to pay it off with some points.
Here's Locke to throw. The Browns D locked in on third down. Brings up fourth. They don't get the hook up there, but you really have to marvel at how precise he's been throwing the football these last couple weeks.
Oh, that's the perfect word for it, precise, because if you're at 70% or better 2 weeks in a row, you have a job as long as you want one in this league, won't you? I mean, let's face it, it's not just West Coast offense either. He's putting the ball downfield as well.
So a good drive there to begin quarter number 3, but they're only able to shave 3 points off the lead.
Well, something's better than nothing, all right? They didn't play particularly well in the first half, but they definitely need him to step on the accelerator now and play a whole lot better.
And he will be brought down here at about the 17-yard line.
Here we go. Here we go.
The Browns drive about to get started, and they're hoping to redo their efforts in the last drive when they got into the end zone.
And just think of what it's like now on the sideline, because when you score a touchdown, you have to go over and look at the tablet and see what you did on the last drive. When you scored points, it's a whole lot better view.
He's got daylight.
Oh,
All the way in.
it's gonna be tough. It's always tough playing those guys. And 6'8" and Sheldon. And, you know, I think us having Calvin back help us back with a big receiver. But you know, I mean, if you look at my corners, man, I think they're ready, man. I think Israel stepped into his own. Mukamar.
This is taken about 7 yards deep.
And
no run back
you know, and Isaac Teller Stewart, man, he's one of the better corners in the league. So I think we'll be ready, man. You know, while they have us in height advantage, I give us the edge with our front seven. And the unit into the quarterback. It might take us a little longer because he's mobile, but you know, we're keep him in the pocket, make one pocket passer. And
make sure they love him up because he's helped them out.
Yeah, now we'll see if that offense can put 6 on the board.
I think I have 2. I think as far as the system I play, I think I have 2 Richard Sherman type guys, but with speed. Meaning they play the system well. If I need them to play man a couple plays, they give me man. If I need them to play zone for most of the game, which they play, you know, if I need one to drop cover 4, the other one to drop hard flat, they do it, you know. And again, you can ask the Bucks, you know, 24 was in the zone, but he's so savvy, he ran the in route and ran the route better than the receiver and picked it off, you know. So Yeah, I think we can match up with him, man. I think we can match up with any receivers in the league. I just think our system doesn't showcase their talents all the time.
Deep in the bag of tricks here after first and second down went backwards. It's third and very long. And he's going to have the hook up to Sutton. He'll get 17 back there, but it'll still lead to a fourth down.
Boy, they had a lot of real estate to make up there, but what a big-time play for them. Nice completion, excellent game. Now they're in fourth and manageable.
Just a little short, though, with that marker. Block now to throw. And that is going to be incomplete. The Broncos unable to convert here on fourth. And this Browns defense stands tall. The Browns drive about to get started. And now you've got the clock winding down here in the third quarter. Your 3 scores to the good. What's your approach on this drive?
Too early to fully commit to playing the clock game. Yet at the same time, you're also not going pell-mell like you would.
Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Von Miller in there for the sack, and that is now 21 for him on the year. Wow, what a season.
I think we'll be ready, man. I think it ain't too much Ray hasn't seen. I just think it's more so of us. You know, we have with our system, being zone primarily defense. We have issues with, you know, when we need those third down stops when it's like 3rd and 2, and guys nickel and diming, keeping drives alive, which keeps my offense off the field. And you know, other teams win time of possession. But I think Ray had it for it.
This will be 3rd and 19. He's going to run, but he's got a long way to go. He'll get a couple of yards on the keeper, but it's going to lead to a 4th down.
Anytime you decide to use your quarterback as a runner, most of the time when you design a play, you're expected to break a little bit bigger than this one, because when you run him on short gains, your risk-reward and him taking hits, I'm not sure that's the payoff they were looking for.
Here's Jamie Gillen now as the drive goes backwards, so he's on to punt it away. This is away and a very good kick angled for the sidelines. And they'll play keep away from the returner as this one will be marked out of bounds at the 13-yard line. Pretty good spot. Denver offense at the line, ready to go. And last time they were very fortunate, this offense. They went for it on 4th, turned it over in their own territory, but the other guys held up. They didn't give up any points.
So how about the guy with the #1 headset on the sidelines, the head coach? That was planned going into it, not necessarily to not get the first down or to have the defense have to hold.
But he trusted his defense.
Trusted his defense very much, and I think that's how he's going to play this game. Go for it. Be aggressive.
I think he's getting there. I think we just need to see more work. I think the last couple years he's kind of been getting in and getting out. But I think if he keeps it up, you know, the whole season after you play the Chiefs, after you play the Ravens, have you played the Ravens yet? After you play some of these, you know, upper echelon teams, I think we'll be able to stamp him in.
Unable to connect, incomplete. Give them credit, they took their shot, but it's going to bring up 4th down.
This defense is continuing to contest every deep ball that is thrown downfield. And look, it doesn't matter whether you're playing man or zone. Eventually, that becomes man on man. And you've got to trust yourself and go up at that moment of truth and make a play on the football.
So dangerous with a football in his hands. Call that a return of 38. And the Browns have a short field in front of them now as they take over 1st and 10.
I mean, a guy that really makes you don't throw to that side of the field. Like he eliminates the side, you know. And yeah, you know, it's not too many of those. It's almost like Deion. When Deion played the great prime time. Like, no, I'm not throwing over there. I throw over there middle, but I'm not throwing over there. Wherever he's guarding, you're not gonna have no catches. You know, it's almost like the Reeves. You ain't like the Reeves out.
you can put yourself in jeopardy.
Yeah, like you knew you wasn't gonna have that many catches or many targets rather when you played Reeves. You know what I mean?
Tried to dial up the long one way out there, but it'll be third down.
Going with a dime look on defense. 2 extra defensive backs on the field and covered up essentially every blade of grass. That allowed them to disrupt the play.
The chance of wasting this great starting field position, a real threat. This is third and long.
Dun, dun, dun.
Mayfield to throw it. He's going to rifle one deep left side. And oh, it'll be intercepted. Picked off by Bryce Callahan. And he will bring it out past the 20-yard line. The CD, I know it's just his second year in the league as a quarterback, but that's going to be one when he flips on the tape. He's like, I shouldn't have thrown that ball.
No doubt about it, and his coaching staff will be emphatic about he shouldn't have thrown that ball. But remember, second year, as you noted, on-the-job training, so he's got to take this feedback that he's getting.
I mean, I drafted Muheen, so I think highly of him.
That one good for 13 and a Denver first down.
How can I say this? Muheen is a great back. I think his greatness gets diluted because it gets used so much. And what I mean by that is not, it's more of a, I'm going to get 100 yards because I run the ball 20 times. You know what I mean? Not, I ran the ball 6 times and got 150 yards. So there's no scarcity there with him. So when you see the carries and the yards, you're like, well, you supposed to do that. Look how many times you get in the fucking ball. If I'm making sense to you, versus, whoa, that nigga only got 50 carries and he got 700 yards. Whoa, like it don't stick out. But he's a talent, man. He's definitely a talent. I would give him. I think it's a system. I think it's a system. He is great, but again,
Awesome.
Still competing, still fighting, not taking himself out of a game that appears lost.
And he's got this.
Hold on, I'm back. Can you hear me?
And they're going to have another first down as he's going to be tackled at the Browns 35. So a first and 10 upcoming from Browns territory now at the 35-yard line. Locke's throw caught by Sutton.
A good system.
But not before they're inside the 25. That one going for a gain of 11 and a Bronco first down. Locke going to bring the offense up first and 10. And he's 5 for 6 now throwing the ball on this drive. And they're going to get him behind the line yet again as his nightmare afternoon continues. That one good for 13 and a Denver first
system.
Locke now on first down. And he's got it. And he's able to get it down to the 2-yard line. A good pickup there. 8 yards on the first down completion. Facing a 2nd and 2 after that last catch. Good for 8 yards.
System. He's system. I played him. He's system.
And I think they stopped him again. They did at the 1-yard line. He got maybe a half yard at most, but officially they'll be left with a 3rd and 2.
I think in years past, he's been a great running back. I think this year he's a system.
And Gordon's going to be stopped short. That'll bring up 4th. They had the 8-yard gain on first down, but unable to do much from there. And a field goal obviously means nothing here. They're going to go ahead and go for it on 4th down. Locke to throw for it on 4th. And it is incomplete. They had to go for it with such...
Yeah, I think he's a system guy this year based on the fact of the offense and our methodology, you know what I mean? But I think he's a great running back, you know what I mean? Like, I mean, listen, look at Moheen Cargo couldn't get on the field. So that shows you, or the last year MVP couldn't get on the field with Cliff Holiday. So we know he's special. He got speed and power and quickness. I think his numbers don't, we talked about it earlier, his numbers don't reflect it because he hasn't been the guy. But, some of the runs he's had is legendary. Some of the playoff games he's had is legendary, but I think this year he's the system. It's the system.
The coverage there too strong on the deep ball, and now they face a third down.
I'm laughing to myself because I could just hear in film session, but coach, I was throwing to Odell Beckham Jr. Of course I thought he was open.
They'd love to go deep downfield to him, though. Such a threat.
Yeah, a rare incompletion because most of the time we expect him to actually come up with the catch.
Odell Beckham Jr., the 20, 10, and all the way in. Touchdown, Cleveland. Odell Beckham with touchdown number 3 in the game and 6 on the year. The Browns are going to tack on to their advantage.
They're so high, like they can't get low.
Here's Seibert now to add the extra point. And that'll push the lead up to 29 now.
4 weeks right now.
Shoulder tear. Derrick Henry.
Out is the kickoff unit as they run up and send this one away. The Broncos onto the field, ready to start their next drive. They're down big here late. I don't know.
Back with
one last drive here.
Yeah.
Some people like to do that.
Nowhere to
Etienne. Yeah.
Myles Garrett in there to record another sack, and that is now 6 on the afternoon for this defensive unit. Another try after the first down sack. Lock. And that is intercepted by the Pro Bowl quarterback Denzel Ward. And they take possession of the football and have it at the 36-yard line. So from the 36 now, 1st and 10.
Hurry! It's just me and you. Mike 51, Mike 51.
Following the interception, Mayfield. He's going to let this go. Back of the end zone. And that's going to be incomplete. 12 seconds.
Howard Joyner's system.
Now the Browns will use the first of their 3 timeouts. That'll leave them with 2 remaining. We'll be back after this.
Because I think the Saints type of ball he plays is catered to the running game. And then now he has a young mobile quarterback, but prior to that, it was just run. Stretch Diddley.
They work it inside the 10 to the 7. He was trying to go back to Beckham there. They said their goal was to win 7 games. They did that pretty early in the year.
I think it's time for them to elevate that number and really make a big push to finish this season strong.
This guy's been a full-time starter among the reception in this league. It's the beast, man. It's the beast at a high level, too.
So that'll just about do it for Charles Davis. I'm Brandon Gaudin. You've been watching the NFL on EA Sports. For more, log on to easports.com. Enjoy the rest of your afternoon, everyone, as we say so long from Denver.
We could say Beckwith was a different type of talent. And again, Beckwith got a lot of carries to be able to do that. But thanks to me, he's throwing the ball way more than he ever had. I think he versus when he had Beckwith, we saw him the name of Bush. Now, he throws the ball around the park a lot. I played him in a game where he barely gave his running back in the game I played him. So he's throwing the ball a lot more. So I like this guy as a great system back, but I like him as a great running back in this system. All right, so then the next back on this list for me for us to talk about is Anthony Puka.
I remember playing in ECG one
Anthony
time our
Puka.
meeting room and
Puka Williams Jr., man. System back, great running back.
be up on the road.
He's a
Great
great running
running
back.
back. And like it ain't too many guys that I've seen literally win playoff games, man, and literally get out of situations where they make something out of nothing. And Puka, he started off rough, fumbling, miniature, but I've seen that guy. I've seen the light with that guy. He's different, special, man. And I'm not just saying that. I play him twice a year. I would know. Um, that guy's special. Single-handedly has won, the Jags games. Can't say that about a lot of backs.
Now we had good backs come through the system. We had Saquon Barkley, we had Derek Carr, but yeah, to me Puka's better than all those backs. And his short 6 year career, this year year five going he's in his seventh year. Puka has done a lot of shit in this system over here, and I like him as a great running back. I think to be right now, I'm confidently saying this. He's the best running back in this system right now. Will you agree or disagree with me there?
No, I agree. I mean, I play him. I mean, I haven't played every back, but I've played Puka several times, and again, you know, he he's
Right
special.
out of the gate, has 39 carries for 682, 17.5 yards a carry. Here's where he might not have the best numbers when it comes down to back, but he damn sure ain't carrying the ball how a lot of these backs are carrying the ball. His only year where he had 228 carries, he had 2,072 yards and one touchdown. So he's been under 200 carries every year but two. And every year but two, and has produced big time numbers right now.